In our March 2007 show, I interviewed at that time Humphrey Wou, director of the AIDS Relief Fund for China, or ARFC. Mr. Wou recently returned from China and will join me later in our show to update us on the work for the ARFC in supporting grassroots HIV efforts in China.
Excellent, Roberta.
Yeah.
What a fine finish to our World AIDS Day show.
I have the distinct pleasure to welcome Mr. Humphrey Wou, who is from the AIDS Relief for China. And Mr. Wou is a Chinese American who speaks 3 Chinese dialects, is passionate about traveling to China and interviewing China's grassroots leaders of non-governmental organizations, or NGOs. When he's back in the States, he shares his knowledge with the emerging NGO movement and creates opportunities for visiting colleagues when they meet in the U.S. Welcome with us again, Humphrey. Thank you so much for joining us again this time.
Thank you, Roberta. It's great seeing you again.
And it's nice to have you back to follow up to find out what the latest things are happening in China. You have recently returned from China and have some news to tell us.
Yes,
Please
yes.
begin. I can't wait.
This year has been so fantastic for AIDS Relief Fund for China. We started a new project called 5 Household Co-op. Basically, the idea is to use microloan to help farmers with AIDS to find a new way to gain financial independence. And so we launched the project in August, and early September, every one of our participants went out and got rabbits. Each family get basically 8 rabbits, and we also coupled it with trainings from our rural experts on farming technology, and we also have doctors that would give them information on how to use HIV drugs, and we also have women trainers to help the women of the families on their basic health.
But it seems like such a great idea to begin with. It has been, with other countries, it's been very successful in Africa, very successful in India, for these little microloans to give to farmers to help them sustain themselves. But it's rather unusual that this would tie in with AIDS. So this also teaches some behavior knowledge as well.
Exactly. All the microloan projects right now in China, there are about like 100 microloan projects going on at the moment. But we are one of the 2 projects that actually target to people with AIDS. And most of the microloan projects will select their participants to be completely healthy. They don't want to take the risk. But we just comes in and we have a different idea. We thought that, well, if you give a loan to someone, what better way to empower them to actually feel like their life is still going on? And so we want to give them hope and confidence for life.
Precisely. That was going to be my next question. This does help people build up their self-esteem.
Yes.
And I would imagine, especially with farmers who are struggling with AIDS and HIV, that this is quite a concern for them.
Oh, yeah. A lot of people thought that they would just like sit there and waiting to die. And many of them, they are in their 50s or 60s, so they really physically cannot do much anymore because of illness, because of poverty, because also the lack of education. And so they are trapped in an environment that they could not find any other way to get outside of their house, find other living. And so with this project, now all of a sudden there's new energy. With only 8 rabbits, I mean, it's really not that much, but one woman on the very first day, she lost a rabbit to her dog because a dog basically, chewed up on a rabbit. And so she was so heartbroken. She beat up her kid, basically blamed the kid for not watching over the dog. And the kid, of course, kicked the dog. And so but we're just like, wow, we had never thought that people would be so serious about their rabbits.
Well, this is teaching also the community at large. So you can see that these other farmers, how they're reacting with the rabbits and what behaviors that is changing. So it's changing the whole community.
Yes, right now there are already 30 other families on waiting lists for us to take them in for the next next year's
Well,
loan.
exactly. That's my question is things for the future. It looks as though you've got when we last spoke, when you were here last year in March, things were just starting to get on a roll, and now you're really progressing with this particular program also.
Right, and we're also going to be expanding to another area of China where we're going to again teach some drug users with HIV to farm bees. And so this is something to do in the next year to come.
This
so
is
lots
fantastic.
of new things.
Well, we have to have you back on the show again
Thank you.
To tell us what happens next year with rabbits and bees. Thank you so much, and we really appreciate you being on with us tonight. Viewers, we look forward to learning more about this wonderful expanding community. So keep joining us and watch again next year. Thanks again.
Thank you, Roberta.
Thanks to all you viewers who joined us, and be sure to remind your friends about Outlook Video. We close this month's program with more scenes from the 2007 Walk for AIDS Silicon Valley.
Roberta and I, along with our Outlook Video team, wish you all a very joyous holiday season. On behalf of all the dedicated volunteers of Outlook Video, whose names you will see as we close, thanks for watching.
Happy holidays. See you next year.
I'm with Ray Mueller. Now, Ray, tell us what is your involvement with the Walk for AIDS?
I am the walk coordinator this year.
And so you could tell us how many people walked and the amount of money raised?
Yes, I can tell you all the exciting news. In fact, the most exciting news to me, last year at the end of the walk, there were 864 walkers registered online. This morning at 4 a.m., 1,201 walkers.